Hey, everybody. I just want to give you a heads up that we're going to pivot. We were originally scheduled to talk about multifamily syndication. Again, we had done that a couple months back. Oh, my goodness. Right, JJ? Wasn't it a couple months ago? I think.
Felt like the market was different. The water was a little different.
The market was different. And I think the live got cut off. So we were going to reschedule and do something like that. But turns out our guests are having a little bit of a challenge today. So we're going to pivot again. And today we're going to talk about multifamily. So instead of it being syndication, we're going to look at houses that are or multifamily units that are available because it is a pretty hot topic right now. We have so many people that are having affordability concerns all over the country, but especially in Austin. And I'm going to give a scenario. And JJ, I want to hear some of yours too. So here's a scenario. I've got a client that is relocating to Austin, has a new job, and instead of buying a single family home, the client's purchasing a duplex that will be rented out on one side. They can live on the first side, and then later, when they've saved up or when they're in a different situation, they can move out of that first side, continue renting, and start on their single family or on another multifamily. So, JJ, what do you think about that scenario and how it works for people?
You know, I think the most logical thing to do when it comes to straight numerical finances on paper is a strategy like that. I know we all have our lifestyles and we may not want to have a shared wall, but numerically, it makes a lot of sense.
So I think it does, especially if you're single, and what I mean by single is if you either A, don't have kids, B, don't need a lot of space, or C, just you have this opportunity and maybe you won't be in the same place for a long time, right? Like maybe you don't need to be at the house, maybe you travel a lot, and having a place like that where it's generating income, huge. So I'm going to share an article real quick that kind of gave us a reason to talk about this. Can you tell me? Some people have seen
this. We're talking about getting into multifamily.
Okay. Yeah.
As a buyer.
Oh, that's the wrong one. This one right here. Have you seen this one?
Yeah, that was significant news in early October.
Yeah. So big news. And so for people that haven't seen this, basically Fannie Mae changed the rule to allow for people who are buying multi-family. So a duplex, a quadplex, a triplex, even apartment complexes larger. You only have to be able to, actually it says quadplexes.
2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Quadplexes. You can put 5% down. Where it used to be where you'd have to be ready with 20 to 25% down. So if you're buying a $400,000 unit, which was hard to find, you're still required to put $100,000 down, just about, or be ready with that much money. So for people that want to be able to get a quadplex or income property, this is a really good option.
Yeah, and to talk about, there was the theme last podcast where we talked about, I think the questions and the viewers were saying, is the American dream unattainable in the area or wherever they're at? And we talked about being creative and being resourceful. And this is a multifamily purchase, I think, could make a lot of sense.
Yeah. And so for those of you that are watching, November 18th is the go live date. But that means if you wanted to start shopping for multifamily now, you could.
Right. Never too early to shop.
Never too early to shop. Okay, so what I want to do is spend the time today kind of looking up some multifamily options in Austin and just kind of seeing what we think about them, what is out there. So why don't we get some guesses on what are some common prices or what were prices like a year or 2 years ago on multifamily properties? Any thoughts?
I have a multifamily search that's been pretty consistent with somebody for the past maybe year and a half now, in the kind of north central Austin area, and
Okay.
those prices have dropped 150,000, I would say, on average, because we were consistently looking at it's like 650 and above, and I'm now seeing some multifamily 450 to 550, which is a pretty great deal if you're, the house hacking ideas and such. I mean, that's definitely probably the most common example that I see is young, late 20-year-olds that are doing the house hacking idea. They're going to move into one side and rent out the other. And it just kind of almost makes so much sense as to being the only way to own a house before you're 30 at this point. Some sort of house hacking style.
It's such a good point, though, because if you're 20 years old and you have enough income to be able to cover even one or two of those units, and the rest is supplemented by people moving in, or if you're making good money and you just want something that's going to kind of set you up moving forward, man, this is a genius move. Genius move.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was saying earlier, if you were quote unquote single in that you didn't have the responsibilities of someone often later in life.
And I think the duplex price range kind of coasts around the single family home price range. And they're two totally separate type of lifestyles, areas.
They are.
But it's similar because you could get in at that price with tenants.
It's perhaps going to become a much more common arrangement in the city of Austin. I don't know if you guys have gotten wind of the notices that went out this past week to about 750,000 homeowners about the zone changes that are being discussed over the next month. Not for multifamily per se, but for allowing 3 units on every single home that is zoned single family inside of the city of Austin at this time, and also reducing the minimum lot size.
That is so big. That's
a very big deal.
How many people, especially during the pandemic, had, let's say, parents come and stay with them, or siblings come and stay with them, or even grown children coming to stay with them, and they needed a place to put them that wasn't necessarily in their house. They needed a separate space. So having these accessory or additional dwelling units is great. Sometimes they call them granny flats. Sometimes they call them casitas. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's still a place for people to stay. And so when you're doing that, that can be counted as multifamily and income property. So you're saying that Austin, the Austin proper, just announced a zoning change where now you can have up to 3 living spaces on one plot of land.
Yeah, well, they have, an uphill battle here because there's definitely residents that have been suing the city of Austin since Code Next back in 2017. So it's the same battle, and Austin is back again with the same proposal, and the same neighbors are saying absolutely not. But Austin's, this is going to be their 3rd time, I think, to try to come back with this. So eventually the city's probably going to win, and it's going to change the entire texture of the city. This is not just going to be for certain pockets. It's for all of Austin. So Tarrytown and, the Allendale, Northwest Hills, like those lots will be up for grabs of being sold and then split up into 3 additional housing units on side of these. Some of these lots can be half an acre up to over an acre, for that just have a single family home zoning to it. It's very interesting. And so some neighbors are very angry about it.
I love that. I think this is a good question. For those of you that are in the comments, let us know if you agree that you should be allowed to have multiple houses or households on one plot of land where you could build your own or build a unit, or if you feel like you don't want the hassle, you don't want the neighbors dealing with it, you want your privacy, your own lot, but you're fine with the single family space. Let us know what you think. I'm really curious how people feel about that. So what I was pulling up here was one of the multifamily units that's in Austin, and soon I'm going to go back to the full MLS, but I just wanted to kind of show, I pulled it up. This is what you're going to see on most websites, right? So I pulled up my website, and it shows you've got a price, $500,000. Okay. You can see the layout, the space it takes.
I know this exact listing. It's on that same
I love it.
MLS search that I was talking about. I've seen this guy.
Yeah.
Central Austin, right? Like northeast central.
Yeah. I
St.
mean,
John's.
the thing is, so this is on my website because it's multifamily. The parameters aren't as clear, right? So what you're missing on a lot of real estate agent websites, the agents have access to it, but one of the things that you have to go to the MLS for is like they had to draw in that it's a duplex. You can see the units, but sometimes it's hard to tell how the units are split up, or if there are rents currently taking place in the units. There are a lot of details that aren't always in there, and so you have to get with your real estate agent and really kind of hone in on the details. So it needs TLC, property to be sold as is. Real quick, I just want to say every Texas contract says sold as is. I'm just throwing that out there. Everybody says sold as is. Everything is sold as is until somebody negotiates.
They think it's gonna work. That the it'll give you a hint of like the option period. Don't even think about it. I'm not gonna. It's like they're always gonna submit negotiations.
So I pulled this up. I'm just gonna. So this is the Austin MLS.
So you just did 2, 3, 4 plexes.
And I did 2, 3, and 4 plexes. I didn't do any other filters. So why don't we start with location? And then that way we can see what's going on.
In Austin or throughout Greater Austin?
Well, as soon as my map works, my map isn't actually working. I didn't do any restrictions at all.
170.
Well, so that could go as far. I mean, that could be Killeen. That could be all other places outside. I don't know. It's not letting it pull up. But give it
here while you try to get that to load, Ian. I've got a little filler here because it's not just about allowing 3 units on there. It's also about reducing the minimum lot size, that previous zone change I was talking about.
Okay.
So it says next year, after the smaller lot size is established for single family neighborhoods, investors and developers, this is somebody who's cranky about it. These are not my words. And developers with the 3 units per lot already in their pocket can subdivide the standard 5,750 square foot lot into 2 lots, yielding 3 times 2 = 6 units on the old lot. So it could actually get up to like 6 units too, because of the reducing that lot size. Just interesting.
Wow.
Really seriously change a lot of the way that Austin looks single family. Did you get your map to work? I was just trying to help fill some time.
No, I appreciate it. It's still loading. It's weird.
That is weird.
Okay, so I just got back to the thing. I'm going to go back to the map, and here we go. All right, so now I'm going to reshare. That showed up. Here we go.
Do screen share.
Got it?
There is that spread.
When I said I did 0 filters, this is what I mean. Like somebody has one listed in Corpus Christi, College Station. We don't need to worry about that. We're going to zoom in a little bit and kind of get into the nitty-gritty. Okay.
ATX.
Yeah, so so I'll start south here. So if I'm mousing over, it shows some of these price points, which is kind of interesting thing. So over on South Lamar, $765,000. That seems, you tell me what you think about this, but to me, that seems fairly reasonable of a price point for this area, no?
Super central area. I mean, it's very polarizing what is a single family neighborhood and what the duplex communities look like. But we could I think the pictures, I'll let the pictures speak.
I love
John S., my favorite real estate team. Thank you.
Yeah, John. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Uh-oh. What if one of the investors, so Joey Francisco, hi, from El Paso. What if one of the investors made it a primary and then reduced the down payment and made the terms better? Other investors could give it a gift for down payment,
5%.
live in it for a year, then rinse and repeat. Lots of things to work through, but it could be done. I agree wholeheartedly. What are your thoughts on this, y'all?
Yeah, you could do FHA for 3.5%. I think on duplexes for sure. I don't know about maybe 3 and 4 plexes.
Yeah.
Confirm, right?
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, So, Joey, you're in Dallas? You're in Dallas? Okay. So 1 to 4. So Joey's in Dallas. Interesting to know. Okay. Cool. All right, so let's look at some of these. So what was the one that I was looking at? It was 765. So I'm going to click on this and kind of drill into some of the details.
Wow, I'm so surprised by that square footage. I thought for sure we were about to pop open 1,000 square feet divided into two, 500 square foot spots.
500 per side, right?
Yeah.
This is incredible.
So
over
two
2,400 square
full back.
Really, this must. I'm wondering if this is mapped correctly, but it does say 7704,
right.
So it must be.
That's why we're going to look at it. And the price is reduced to from 785. It's built in 1985. Unit mix is a 1-1, one on either side.
That's cool. Okay? Good too.
But see, it says that here. Hold on. But here it has, 2 beds, 2 baths.
Two and a half bath.
Two and a half. Yeah. Per side. Another thing that's really important is to take notice of whether or not they're occupied. So if you're trying to purchase a residential income or a multifamily property and you think you're going to move into it, you got to make sure that one side is open or will be open when you're ready to move in. So this one, the lease expires December 31st. And so this is a chance for you to be able to move in January. And Joy, while you're on the conversation, Joy's a lender for everybody that sees her on the chat. Joy, do you know anything? Well, not anything. Do you know how much of a percentage or what the income is counted, or how much of that income is counted toward their purchase? I think I know the answer, but I'm not a lender, so I'm going to let you answer. So this is pretty cool. Let's open it up and look at some pictures. It's really clean.
Yeah, I'm excited to go in.
Looks can be deceiving,
wow.
But it looks really nice.
That's cool.
Is this virtual? No, that's real. It's just a bad angle or something, bad camera.
I don't know. I'm pretty blown away.
You want to all go in on it?
I know, right? I mean, it's still all the Formica countertops and it could use some updates. But you also have to think, if this is an income property, are you really going to put those changes into it, right? Based on location, based on the market price, the market rent, or market rate, right? So you look at the market rate, and what are we getting? $1,500 a month right now. I don't know if that's market rate. I just know that's what the current tenants are paying.
I'm just so surprised that a cash investor is not scooping this up. I mean, I get it that interest rates for investment properties make 0 sense right now, but I just feel like this is wow.
That is exactly my point. Let's say it's a cash investor and maybe they don't put 800,000 down or 750 or whatever, right? Maybe they put 30% or 40% into it, and then they get a loan on the remaining balance, and then they hope for the refi. I mean, you have to do the math and figure out, like, where's their break-even point. We're seeing 3,000 right now that their income that they'd be making. What if they were making 4,000? I don't know. I haven't run the rates to see what they could be getting for a 2-1 in that area.
It sort of seems well cared for. The photos are showing that always can change when you visit, but it just seems like it needs cosmetic updates. So like the idea of getting up to 4,000 seems pretty easy from what the photos are sharing.
Beautiful trees.
I don't like
separate lots in the back.
Slope. Garages. Each unit gets a garage. That's a big deal.
JJ, it's interesting. You said the slope. When I was looking at the pictures of the interior, it looks like, so there's a slope here. There's some erosion, right? I don't know
how big that foundation is on the other side.
Yeah, it's huge, right? But my guess is that it goes that way all the way across, right? I don't know. I'm not a foundation engineer, but I'm also noticing when you look at some of these pictures, you can see the bending. So I think it's actually the camera, right? So if we go back to the front here, this driveway looks like it's sloping a lot.
Yeah.
But that could just be the camera. It could be actually that could be happening.
There's some it's on a hill, on its own little hill.
So here we go. Joy says 75%. So what that means is if you have somebody renting and they're giving you $1,500 a month, 75% of that counts as your income when you're qualifying for the purchase.
Okay.
Huge.
Yeah.
Now, she said if you're VA, then you get 100% of rent to offset your personal mortgage. Big brain moves right there. Plus security deposit, pet deposits, that's all however you decide to, whatever type of landlord you decide to be. I mean, I know people that are doing pet rent, everything. And so this is also, I just want to point this out as we're looking through others. I don't want to go through it every time. I just want to go through it this time. So we, as realtors, when you're working with us, we have access to a lot of ancillary documents for the property. So here's a great example. Once you are under contract and in the option period, you start getting things like the actual leases, the profit and loss statement, and how their rents have been going, and probably vacancy rates and things like that over the years. So, and then you also get your seller's disclosure like normal. There's a high probability that the seller has never lived in the unit or the seller's never lived in a unit, but they've probably had to pay for repairs. And so they should know what's been going on with the property. All right, so that's a good one. So I'm going to go back to the map. Do you have anything else you wanted to see on this particular property?
No.
Okay, cool. I want to also mention this that Joy says. So if you're VA, you need a property manager if you've never been one to count rent.
Interesting.
That's interesting. I wonder if that is a VA rule. So for those of you that are looking at property managers, what are you seeing for property management fees right now? JJ, Randy? Or are you?
I don't know. I don't really get involved too much with that. How about you, JJ?
Maybe like 10%, 11% average. And I think they do a decent job. And it's one of those things you get what you pay for. I've seen some 8% property management, 12% of 1 month's rent.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm seeing too. So it's generally 8 to 12% from my experience, 8 to 12%. And usually if it's a lower percentage monthly, then they're either kind of not servicing it the same, or they have volume. So if you have 100 units with a property manager, they're not going to charge you 12% on every one unless it's just some big conglomerate, right? So a lot of people start off and they want to manage it themselves. And I can see that for a couple units, but once you start getting 5 or more units, it gets a little challenging. All right, so let's go back to the map. Any other places that are really exciting for you to look at?
Those are crazy.
I mean,
medium price points like what, 500s?
Yeah.
So
if you go up towards Wooten, North Shoal Creek, and Highland, they have a lot of.
We're glossing over some $1 million ones too.
Yeah.
565.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Wooten.
499. 415.
Airport.
All right, so I want to look at this one that you were talking about, the Wooten. Okay. 1444 square foot, 565. Right? That's good. Okay. So unit mix. So one side's a 2-1, and the other side is a 2-1. Yeah. Okay. So let's see.
And rents are similar to the last property, right? There it was about, or was it 1,500?
The other one was 1,500 and 1,550. So this one side is open and available. The other side, they're getting 1,300 right now.
All right.
It's actually a little less.
I mean, yeah, this place is smaller. I don't think I'm seeing a garage for both units. I'm kind of surprised still, again, at that South Austin spot.
Yeah.
I'm calculating the ratio, though. I do a total rent over purchase price.
Okay.
Ratio.
Just one garage.
There's similar ratios. So I would take, if this at 1,300 per side, I do 2,600 over the purchase price.
Really? So similar ratios for a Wooten house compared to a 78704 house? I mean, does that make any sense?
So it was 3,000 over 700, roughly, like 3,000 and some change. And then this is 2,600 over 500s.
I think that this place must be overpriced then, like way far overpriced compared to, because this area is just not as desirable, period.
But the rents are also lower.
But it's a smaller house.
There's only one unit rented right now. The rent's currently lower, but that's where it gets interesting because this is rented out till February of next year. You don't necessarily know without seeing the lease what their term was. This could be a 20-year tenant, right? And they just kept the rent low, or it could be a new tenant that's been a jerk and they increased the rent. Like we don't know that story yet.
It is under $1 a square foot, roughly. Well, no, the square footage is actually.
Oh no, that's for both sides.
Yeah, that's a lot per square foot.
That's a lot.
That's way more than the other one.
Yeah. All right. So that's north. What else do we have?
Did they have inside pictures?
Yeah, we went through them. Didn't you? Did it not pop up?
I think I was looking at the numbers.
Oh, okay.
That's an interesting area that you're in right now, Ian, being right next to the Q2 stadium and the, all of the
Aaron Kramer
transit coming out to it.
Yes. Being the fact that, like you said, you can easy travel access, not far from the domain. You've got the Austin MLS, Austin FC, team where the Q2 stadium is. You're right. That's a good price point. So let's take a look. So 1980, 2,000, almost 2,000 square feet, priced moderately per square foot. Okay.
Let's take a look.
Slap some lipstick on the garage.
Yeah. Have some fresh paint, some landscaping.
I wonder if this is. Have you seen the people that come and they spray paint your lawn just for pictures?
Oh my god,
that's what that looks like to me.
I think it was edited.
Yeah, some editing, but it's still it's healthy grass. It's not patchy, so somebody's been doing some watering.
There aren't clovers and all that weeds and stuff all over that are just filling in the green. It looks
that's true.
It's pretty good.
It looks really green.
And then when you go on the inside, like when I see this, and then I go inside and I see something similar, like comparable quality of care, then I can say, okay, they probably didn't pay to paint it. They probably did actually take care of it or landscape it. It could be fresh sod, right?
Have you ever visited a house, Ian, that really did get painted?
I thought you were just going to end there. Have you ever visited a house, Ian? Never, not once. That did get painted? Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I don't think I've come across
Oh,
that
yeah.
yet.
Oh, no. I've got a couple of those guys in my back pocket. I've never actually used one, but I've been real close. For listings that have like super patchy lawns. The problem is, just like with pictures, if people show up, it feels like they're being lied to. But also on the other end, our job is to get people to show up.
Yeah, got it.
That's what builders do. Builders plant fresh sod every single season, and they water it 2-3 times a day. That's why it always looks so perfect. Half the time, it's not even the same grass that they give everybody else.
Yeah.
So they're cheating, but it works. And then you buy a house with the builder and you don't even get sod.
Yes, I was going to say, now they're just not even doing the sod. It's too risky.
This is clean. They put in the subway tile, the granite, it's gas in the air. I mean, many places in Austin proper are going to be gas, so that's good. Cabinets, I mean, they're older. You can see some separation there, just some warping maybe. Flooring, they replaced the flooring. What was this? 85? Fresh carpet?
80, I think. But yeah, everything is done. You get to try to go for max rent on this.
Yeah. I mean, it's just little stuff, little cosmetic stuff, but it seems like they did a really solid job with it. No covered patio, but you have plenty of trees. I don't know where that is in the property. Larger trees. Okay, so now let's take a look. So what did we say? A 2.2? We can go and look. Yeah, less than 500, 1980. That's what I'm talking about. This seems like kind of a deal. So let's look at the parcel map.
I'm curious what the rents are.
I think in that area with all those updates, I mean, I think you could probably push 2,400 for each unit.
This is solid. What are we currently getting for rents?
There
they're
are
not
no
rented.
tenants, but
There's
I've
no
done searches pretty recently in this area, and I really feel with those updates, you could
So you're
probably
saying
try to get 2400 for each unit.
so you're saying that someone could purchase this at less than 500,000 and they could have maybe let's just be super ultra conservative and get 2,200 a month supplemented through rental income.
Mm-hmm. Now, something about this that I'm noticing actually that's going to be a pretty big ding in your rents is that there's only one bath for a 2-bed spot.
There's only one
it's hard to
bath,
find renters that are down with that.
and that's not a functional garage, right? That's how they got the second bedroom, or is it functional?
Oh,
I can't tell with the paint.
know. I was assuming it was 2 garages.
Why do you think there was a conversion?
Well, I mean, it's just painted solid. Like, I don't know.
Oh.
It could not be. Okay, well, that's cool. That's fun. I think that's a great example of a deal. What could be a deal for somebody? Let's look on east of 35. So here we go. Brushy Glen. This one is 2,600 square feet total, 575. Built-in 76. It's a 2-bed, 2-bath. Current rents, one's 1,300, one's 12. So you're getting a 25, almost 2,600 a month.
No, that rent's just not going to cut it with that price. It seems a little high for the area.
Okay.
That's a nice yard. Maybe it's a big lot.
We're gonna look at that. So it's actually for the
0.30.
area, maybe, right? So you're in Manor ISD, but it's 220 a square foot total. So let's look real quick. That is a good sized lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
is that a busy road back there?
it is. It looks like a busy road, and you've got. I mean, those tiles are all of it.
But as an
work cut out
investor,
for you.
the tile actually works because they can't destroy that. Every renter change is like the floor's good to go.
Correct. Assuming they don't drop something on the tile and crack it, and you have to deal with that. But yeah, they just painted right over these.
Yuck.
Okay. Listen, there's something for everybody, including seashell sinks. That's not seashell, but it looks like it. Something for everybody. Okay. Oh, is that yard slopes toward the property? But there's a barrier.
I'm rejecting this listing.
Look how close the
575.
tree is.
Nothing's done on the inside.
To me, that's the thing that would be the most worrisome is this giant tree butt up against the house. How's the root system?
Yeah.
And the roof.
Joey had to take off. What's up, Mark? Pay someone to paint brown patches on my lawn. Heck yeah. I love it. That's the way, man. This is the way. Okay, so this is the other unit. Fireplace.
Digging this person's
Well,
furniture.
that was distracting.
Yeah.
I think it's a mirror
it's kind of a weird layout. It almost looks like they just is that their bed? They just have a separate living
I'm still
space.
stuck on the mirror in the fireplace, just like JJ.
Oh, it's so good. Okay.
Good color.
Another mirror.
Another
mirror.
My
goodness. They got a theme going.
It makes the space look larger.
Yeah.
That's all. At least
So
you can see the wall outside.
Lighter.
Okay. All right. I'm done. Let's go to another. Okay.
Jollyville tends to have multiple units. It doesn't look like there's any today, though.
Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah.
Okay, 507, 799. I'm gonna go a little higher price point this time. So let's see this one. So this is 22.
That's too high. That's not going to work. The rents don't go that high there.
Yeah.
799.
1,600. Yeah.
Ratio.
What is this? This is a 3-2 though.
Okay.
That's not leased, and the 2-1 is getting 1,600. So what do you think the 3-2 would get here?
Oh, okay.
Like 2,300. I mean, it's pretty way out there. Round Rock ISD is helpful.
2,200 divided by what's the purchase price?
$799, I believe.
So rent over price is 0.47.
Oh no.
Nothing's done.
I've seen a lot of 23.4 for rent over price.
They're asking too much.
Yeah. Asking too much.
The comment. Well, actually, the ratios are pretty consistent.
So here's the thing. My worry there is that someone would, again, we don't know how long that current tenant has been there. And so someone, if they've been there for a long time and they're set with their rent and they're comfortable, then they, that price point is fine for them. But you might have somebody new come in and say, I can get this one right next door, right down the street, and rent here is the same price, and I get a little more space. And let's see if it's done on the inside. It definitely looks done on the more done on the outside.
Maintained.
There's a fridge. Fridge can
Fridge is good.
Electric.
Right next right there by the door, so nobody come busting in while I'm cooking.
Oh my goodness, that stove ever got hit by the door.
Wow. Okay.
How much is this one listed for? 500 again? I feel like Jollyville didn't get the memo on what's going on with the housing market lately. This is
500 though.
What's the total rent?
Look at the land square. It's a quarter-acre lot. But and the total rent right now is $1,600 per.
$3,250.
But I feel like they're matching the same price as the one in Wooten, which is way more central.
But this one's a 2.2.
This actually has a really high rent for a price.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with it.
Yeah, the other ones were 0.3, 0.4. This is 0.6.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Look at these guys. Rent $1,625 is at least no. Is there a tenant? No.
Just trying to tell you can do it if you want to.
At least they're honest about that.
I know. Well, I think maybe they had it rented at that. I don't know. That's funny.
It helps though, because sometimes I export into a spreadsheet, and then I would rather have the total rent there. It's hard to look at.
There's a 430 in Schofield.
Probably has foundation issues. Just kidding. I don't know.
Ouch! You can't say that. You don't know. You don't know. So this is Lamplight. Let's see. Goes to Murchison.
I only say that because I've seen things in this area.
Yeah. So built in 81. We have no tenants right now, and it's a 2-1 mix. 2 2-1s. What was the sigh? Those
just trees, could we do a little more for the listing? I don't know. It's a lot, but
the flooring. There's some water damage up at the front. That's what it looks like. Yeah, it looks like this place may have flooded at some point.
Yeah, definitely got some water damage.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't like the way that looks.
Well, these are just terrible. These are just terrible pictures. Somebody had an iPhone 4.
That's kind of what my noise was about. It's just like, come on.
Look at the bowing.
So even just to discuss realtor services, right? It's like the realtor do more, but maybe the realtor got paid $50 to put on the MLS.
Yeah,
you're right. Most realtors, for everybody watching this, most realtors, if you're leasing a property, if the realtor or property manager is leasing a property out for you, they're not going to spend the kind of money as if they were listing a home, because they're not going to make that kind of money, right? And they're probably going to do the same amount, if not a little more work. And
you're talking about lease listings, but this is a for sale listing.
Oh, it is for sale. Oh, never mind.
It's for sale, yeah.
And it's vacant.
And not that I need the seller to do more. The seller can do whatever fits right for them, but I need the agent to do more. I mean, let's get some photos done.
The other part of this is we don't know what the seller is paying the listing broker.
That's true.
Right? So if they're only paying the listing broker some ridiculous amount, then they're just going to click, throw it up there, right? Because that happens too. People negotiate themselves out of an opportunity.
The boss of it really is the seller. Who is the seller that made the decision on which agent to help them? And then they chose the agent. It's almost like that's the manager, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because sometimes you see this and you're like, but then it's like, is it the agent or is it the seller or is it both?
Where's all the information? See, this is the kind of thing that'll never get, I don't know about never get sold, but that's frustrating. I'd be
hard
really
to
upset.
shop. And this is also an opportunity for a buyer, because it's hard for buyers to even understand that property.
Very true.
So when you look at it, it's already been kind of blocked away from people truly shopping.
Here we go. Here's some color. I'm excited. I want to see more.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more presentation.
So 3 2s, 2 3 2s, 1,200 rent.
So 2,600 over.
Why is that rent like that?
Yeah,
for
0.47.
Oh, one side is a garage, probably a longer term tenant, and the other side is no garage. That's my guess. Let me look. Tile's good. It looks clean. You got your painted wood panels.
It's all good.
Fine.
Painted wood panels totally works.
Fine.
I always love this area as an up and coming area, though.
Yeah, it is. Huh. Okay. What is
proximity to the
this?
domain?
Help me understand, please.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
not-
like,
it's not
that could have
relevant
at
to
least been
property.
taken down. Oh, there's lights.
But only on a part of it. Or is that, no, that's angled on the
Oh,
wall.
hanging on the fireplace. You're right.
That's just the tenant's decorations. So I'm gonna keep going past it. Is that
I couldn't answer you.
a crack?
Yep.
Bummer.
We don't know. Look at the offset tiles.
Mhm.
You didn't hear that from me though.
Remember what I said about the area? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I think someone dropped something there, maybe.
Okay.
I was more talking about different areas, Goldfield.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
Right.
gas
Ooh.
station. Oops.
Oh, it's like right by Palmer.
They need some paint.
probably.
They need some front yard paint.
That's a tough one.
You know, people are just parking here. Oh, and they do have 2 garages. Okay. 2 units, garage units. I don't know. Look at the price though. Go back to the price. Come on.
Rent a price though. So 2,600 over 550,000 is 0.47.
The question
2.3,
is, can you
0.4.
increase this?
Need some. No, I don't know, because
Per
it's kind of a
dollar per
risky
foot.
investment because you're still sitting right there by the gas station.
That's already
So
$1
how
per
much
foot.
nicer
are.
can you? Can you really make it?
I
At a
mean,
certain
you could rent each room out separately for 800 probably, right?
Mhm.
I mean,
To a bunch of kids,
that's a
college
heck of
kids.
management. That's a lot of management.
I am not saying it
it's
isn't.
possible.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
you could. All right, let's do one more. What do we have another area that we want to focus on?
Try that Altorf area. You know,
East or west of 35?
East Riverside, Altorf. That's got a lot of big projects coming in.
Ooh. That
All right,
is
which one?
enough.
I think
We've
it's
got
called Four
450,
Rivers or something. It's a new domain.
675, 584. What do you think?
Do some of those because those are right underneath that huge domain project.
Nope, don't like it.
6 is a lot.
Nope, don't like it.
584.
Nope, I'm going back to the last one. Let's go this one. 450 though. See, something's not right. All right, so it's low, lot of land, 81, 1,300.
What's the sales price?
450.
450.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start backwards this time. Yes.
So rent over price ratio is 0.57.
I was wondering where the other entrance was. So it's on the side.
Yeah. I knew something wasn't right about this. Look at the side. Look at the siding.
There's a lot to do.
I would think so. You've got to get a WDI report last week.
Mm,
That's wood destroying insects, people.
Oh man.
Oh, look at that's on though. That's even that's on a lot of wood.
It's all wood. Okay. Yeah. So don't buy this. Thanks. You didn't hear that from me.
But did you see that 2,600
You
rent?
can lower the price,
Darn.
Yeah, right. Well, let me take a step back.
or you
If
can offer lower.
You can offer whatever the heck you want, right?
Mhm.
So, but somebody who put down a $250 security deposit.
Oh no. I didn't see that. Oh no.
Wow.
Both rents end at the end of this year. Both leases, sorry, end at the end of this year.
That's an interesting opportunity. So you can get those people out and do what you're
Redo
going to do with it.
everything,
Mhm.
put 100,000 into it, and turn it into something. Yes.
Matador, I think that's really close to Riverside, I believe.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty close. It's right here. I mean, a few blocks.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to the other side by St. Edwards. St. Edwards would be an
let's
interesting
see.
one.
There you
Wow,
go. That's some
That would
hardcore
be
walkability.
interesting. $3,250 square foot, low price per square foot, even at $1 million.
It's a
so you have
quadruplex.
4
Wow.
units, 2-1-2-1-1-1-1-1. Okay, 2 are rented out, leased out, $1,375.
I mean, for a quad, I'm surprised. That's a great price, right?
Investor's dream.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So let's
help me
see.
estimate the total rent, so I could do a rent.
Yeah. So let's assume that if the 2-1 gets, let's go with 1,200 or 1,300, and then drop it by half for the 1-1 before we see it.
Like a 600 aside.
Yeah.
600
Yeah.
plus 600 over 999. 0.35, almost 0.36. It's on the lower end, probably higher appreciation. That's hardcore walkability.
That is right next to St. Edward's,
Yeah,
which is a private, I believe, Catholic college here in Austin. Very prominent school.
Student housing. So, I mean, you get your tenants in for sure, but student housing.
Carpet.
Pros is like less vacancy.
Mm-hmm.
Cons is
more wear and tear.
Right, I'm going to move into here. Watch it. I'm going to do it.
What's up?
I said I'm going to move into it. There's 3 other units. It's fine. I'm going to take this bathroom right here.
Yeah.
Love that yellow.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing a lot of 0.3, 0.4 rent to price ratio.
Interesting.
Really
Whole row of them. I saw a couple of them available too. You don't have to worry about landscaping. You don't have to worry about hardly anything. You're not cleaning. I don't know if this is trimmed by I don't know how these are managed. Probably not something you'd have to worry about as an owner. That's just my guess, unless it's out of some sort of fees. Maybe there's a larger.
Is there an HOA?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Maybe there's a larger responsibility, shared responsibility. Their lease expired 2016, though. So,
how long has this been on the market?
No, I'm not looking at those dates.
11 days. That's a fresh one.
It's pretty fresh.
What's in the V documents?
Pardon me. Built in 1969. Huh. This one has the correct unit mixes. Thank you.
They entered information. What's in the V documents link?
Oh, it opens up a new tab, so I'll share the tab.
Oh, all the energy audit.
TCAD. Energy audit. Yep. Lead, because 1978, before 1978. Lead-based paint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anybody, if you're purchasing a property built before 1978, you have to have a disclosure that there might be lead-based paint. Just so you know. Yeah, this is good. Okay, I think we're good sharing that kind of stuff. We stayed in Austin proper. We didn't even go to any of the suburbs really. So what would you say for people that are looking right now and considering multifamily? Give us some food for thought after seeing these.
78704 had quite a steal in there. I wonder what other ones will pop up there. I mean, that part of town will never get old. That's very, very popular for the tourist area, and also being so close to town, being so close to all the restaurants and fun things and the music that Austin has to offer. And then kind of going up north, it's a little bit more plentiful up there, and there's a lot of opportunity coming your way. So as far as the Q2 stadium getting more popular, the transit program being built out up there, and the domain and the continued influx of tech workers will be in that area. So that was kind of what I took away from that.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, JJ?
Those rent to price ratios at 0.3, 0.4 is super low. I also noticed there was a report. What is this? Visualcapitalist.com.
I love that. My favorite website.
It's great. A lot of cool infographics, but it says Austin's the 13th most expensive city in the nation. But And I wonder, were we going to move up? Are we going to stay still? Is it going to get more expensive? But if you also look at Austin population over the past several decades, it dang near doubles, like every decade or so. But I still think there's an opportunity, but it just reminds me that real estate, you have to have deep pockets, because I don't know if you're going to cash flow these things very
Bigger
well,
pockets.
right? But with what we talked about, you might be able to condoize these things with, you could see Austin's moving towards more urban options.
Yes.
And I think there's some opportunities, but I mean, we saw some $1 million like fourplexes on South Congress.
Yeah, actually, a little addition for my closing thoughts is, if anybody really is out there considering multifamily in Austin, you should wait a month and see what happens with that zoning discussion with the council. I mean, that will change everything if that gets pushed through.
I think when you're looking at things like Visual Capitalist, you get a lot of pretty information that's easily digestible, but it's hard to see the whole story without multiple pieces of information. So I'll give a great example. You were talking about Austin is the 13th most unaffordable city. So A, what's the time period? Or is it just static time today? And B, what are their data points? Is it based on current income, reported income, and is it reported income from people that are living here or people that own property elsewhere or live elsewhere and own property here? Like, that's the part that we're missing. So we don't know all the numbers. At least I don't think we know from looking at these Visual Capitalists. They look great, but there's a lot more. Data can be manipulated to look as good as we need it to, right? So they can sell a headline with it. So all that to say, I still feel, and I don't think this is just a feeling. I think it could be backed up through the economy and historic data for Austin. I am pretty confident that if you were to purchase a multifamily property in Austin and it was a good rent or a good cap rate, you're doing all right with the property. One, if you live there, if you're the person that's living there, then you're putting yourself in a better spot than most people that are just buying a single family, because you're supplementing your income. So I think that's a no-brainer for younger people that have the ability to do that, or anybody that has the ability. You don't have to be a younger person.
Right.
So that's the first thing. So I think there are a lot of incentives there. And I think the second part is, you're not only thinking of cash flow, but like we talked about before, you're also thinking about, what is this doing for your long-term wealth? You basically have 3 people paying off your mortgage in a property like that, right? So your equity is another type of appreciation. So you have your income, you have your equity, and later when you sell it, I'm pretty sure it's going to be worth more. But you probably won't sell it for a while. You'll be able to keep this and leverage that to purchase more properties. So
yeah, and we picked some hot areas. Like, I like the tour we did today.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, thank y'all for being on this episode today. And anybody that was watching, we appreciate you. Let us know what you'd want to see the next time. I think in a couple of weeks, we're going to redo this multifamily syndication and have some guests that are talking about some of the benefits of doing a syndication. And JJ, just real quick, you have a syndicate group that you're part of, right?
Yes.
Okay.
A couple of them. We're
going to hold that. We're going to hold that thought and talk about it more. So thank you, everybody. Thank y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.